This is Andy coming to you live from, where are we? Simi Valley.
No, Thousand Oaks.
Thousand Oaks. And Hedy Miramati. And when you saw that I was coming out of the closet, you thought there'd be a dude here, didn't you?
Thank God not.
And you guys have probably figured this out by now because of I've made a few errors from time to time. Not errors, but I let the cat out of the bag a couple times by saying certain things. But I just wanted to finally, Hedy has an FBI background, counterterrorism. She had to investigate me to make sure that I was the real deal before I could come out and let you know that we were in a relationship, because she has top secret clearance and all kinds of stuff that she wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to compromise by being in a relationship with me. But this is can I say girlfriend?
Oh, I guess so. I haven't been called that since I was like 20. So
I know.
Very exciting.
I know, and I hate the lighting because it looks horrible. Look at the light on my forehead. I could have used some of your makeup to fix that light. But I'm the luckiest man in the world. Look at the gorgeous woman I get to sit with here.
I'm the luckiest.
Oh yes, now everybody's gonna be vomiting. Everybody's gonna be vomiting. Let us know in the chat if you knew.
I knew it. Amy said
I knew it. How did you know? How did you know? Hey Bev, nice to see you. And hey y'all, she's from Texas. If you didn't
Hey y'all.
But what I wanted to come on, more than just coming out of the closet.
Ta-da.
I know you found that funny that I wanted to come out of the closet. Hey Larry, nice to see you. We've had a very interesting since the day we met, which was should we say love at first sight?
Absolutely.
Strangely enough, I know you look at this and you say, "How is that possible?"
You followed me around like a little puppy.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Bev. Beth says we're both lucky.
Yes,
so there.
Absolutely.
So there. But we were at the non-essential event at Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, and we were both at separate parts where we were not even close to one another in line. Kelly and I got there late. We thought it was early, but it turns out we were late. We were at the end of the line. You were somewhere else.
Also at the end, at the other end.
At the other end of the line. And a friend of mine, I probably shouldn't say, I haven't been drinking at all. Shouldn't say who, but a friend of mine who works security there saw me and says, "Hey, your friends are looking for you up in the front of the line." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Come with us." And so Kelly and I, come with me. Kelly and I went with our friend, and he introduced us to friends of his and says, "Hey, here's Andy. He's been looking for you." And he puts us in line with this couple. And then I shake hands with the couple, and I turn
and there I was.
And there she was. And we looked at each other, and then about 10 minutes later, Kelly looked at me and goes, "What's going on here? Why are you guys talking this way to one another?" And
then we ran into that cute couple today.
And then we ran into them today.
And they were like, "Oh, we knew it. We knew it when we saw you guys. You guys just wouldn't talk to anybody else the rest of the day."
And then we went out to lunch, and a whole bunch of other stuff happened. So it's been an amazing journey. So we feel strongly, you coming from Thousand Oaks to go to that church, which is what, 60 miles away?
65 miles.
65 miles away. Our paths and our lives were in so many different. She was in Washington, D.C. working for presidents and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I was in Anaheim Police Department, and we went through relationships, and then and you had to cut in line too. You were a cheater.
By other people that worked at the church. Also drop shipped me right in that location, right in front of you.
So we happened to both cut, and then when we met, we had both just cut in line and then ended up meeting each other. And feel strongly that God's hands were involved in us meeting.
Absolutely.
But then the devil came in.
Oh, as he always does. He always does.
And I had to fairly soon in our relationship admit to her that I had cancer, was the first thing. And then maybe days later, I got COVID-19.
And we're in the hospital.
And I was in the hospital for 6 days. And she had just met my other children. She met Kelly the day we met. But she met the other children, including my 26-year-old daughter, which was a whirlwind of activity because I was sicker than a dog. They thought I was going to die. I was in the hospital, and that's how our relationship started. It was a pretty amazing. I thought that when I got out of the hospital, was there a Hedy? There was this girl. Anybody seen this girl named Hedy? Where's she at? And you were still there.
I was still there.
And talking to my doctors, making some decisions for me during days that I couldn't make any decisions because I was under some pretty heavy narcotics and a bunch of other stuff. And you were having conversations with the doctor about me staying alive and dying.
And not intubating you
And
unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is come on. Is that what were your why'd you stick around?
Other than you being remarkably handsome.
Oh, thank you.
I actually, the next day, I think I told you, the next day in church, so we were at the conference, and then the Sunday, right after the conference was on Saturday, on Sunday, I actually, in worship, I heard from the Lord. And he said, you were the one. And actually, he literally ran down the list, you know, because my friends that are long-term Christians, my mentors and my kind of accountability partners are like, make a list of what you look for in a man. And literally the Lord walked through the list with me and said, I give you this, I give you this, I give you this, I give you this, I give you this. He's the one.
Wow. That's something else.
Yeah. It was,
because I don't know that any relationship could have survived a start like ours. You found out that I had 5 kids. And I forgot about the 5 kids. 5 kids. I had cancer, and I got COVID-19, and I was on my deathbed, and there she was standing by me, trying to figure out how to come and visit me. And there were no visitors, obviously, in the COVID unit.
And then I nursed you back to health. Remember, you came back because you couldn't go home.
I couldn't go home because I had been in quarantine, so I had to come here. Sadly for me, this was my nurse. And took care of me here, and it was amazing considering the condition I was in. My hair was all jacked up more than it is right now. I was on oxygen. Here I am. Okay, so here I am. I got oxygen thing in my nose. Here, oxygen. She's this, and she's again still here, feeding me. Feeding me. No, that wasn't like that. But I was breathing. I was on oxygen, and with 5 kids, and there's no reason.
That was one of the first things he said to me. He's like, "Did you count how many kids there were?" Yes. I'm like, yes, I counted how many kids there were. The more the merrier.
Oh my gosh. Let me look at a few comments here. So we have Larry on, says, good evening from Baltimore. Thank you, Larry, for being there. And then we talked about Amy. Michelle, nice to see you. She's beauty. She's beauty. Congratulations.
She's a beauty.
Oh,
you are so sweet. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Larry. Priscilla, you guys have talked
Priscilla.
apparently. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Bev. I appreciate that so much. We just had lunch the other day with our friend Chuck Knight. What else? Happy. Oh, thank you, Nalani. I appreciate that so much. We appreciate that. Thank you, Jamie. So many cool people. People are coming on that they thought I was really coming out of the closet. And David Everett, look at you too. Thank you, David. David, can I say what you have, David? Let me know whether I can say that what you got going on right now. I almost said it without asking permission first. So I want to talk a little bit about the USA Patriot Project with you, because you are our co-founder of this project.
Very proud.
I've been talking about that. I want to teach and mentor men to be men. I know that sounds strange, but understand that we've been beat down as men over the last several decades on television and in just in every way, shape, and form, that somehow that masculinity, being strong and a warrior, is looked upon as being bad. At least that's some of the things that we have heard. No. Okay. And so I'm glad I asked, because I almost said it by accident. And so he has athlete's feet. But I didn't mean to tell you this. Don't put on his shoes or touch his socks.
Note to self.
I feel strongly about that. Also, the conservative Christian values we've learned, because the Democrats have virtually taken over our country, we've sat back and allowed that to happen. There's a large number of us, but we just kind of stayed quiet. We've heard about the silent majority. But as I was putting this together, you talked about that there was some opportunity to help women in this conservative movement.
Yeah. I think it's my walk to Christ, meeting Christ. And I've learned a tremendous amount. I came out of, as you know, out of Islam, and that was a very oppressive religion. It was kind of this external force trying to control behavioral patterns and destructive behavior patterns. And what I've learned from the indwelling of the Holy Spirit is it's from the inside out, and it's from a love of Christ rather than a set of rules that are external to a person. And so I've been journaling about that, and I've been working on a documentary. So I think I have a couple things to help women with, and especially the focus on strong men. So I worked with men my whole life. I was in a very male-dominated field, and everyone's like, well, how could you have a man boss you around. And I said, well, it's not bossing you around. It's a Christ-centered relationship where God is at the head. And then it's a natural hierarchy where the man comes next, and then a woman follows a man that is therefore following Christ. And so it follows a biblical standard that I truly believe in, and I know you believe in. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
To be a part of it.
And it's not by accident. I don't think that Hedy and I have met kind of, we're kind of on the same journey with God in the Bible. As you heard, she's came from Islam. I don't know. I always mess it up. I want to say Muslim.
Muslims that follow Islam.
Oh,
yeah.
Orale.
Islam is the religion. Muslims are the adherents.
Yes. But that was what,
3 years ago.
3 years ago. I've been in this walk for 20 years, but it seems like it's been the last year and a half that really I finally caught on to what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. It's not been easy, but it's awesome because I found Jack Hibbs back in May. With my son, who walked forward and gave his life to Jesus Christ, which has been amazing. And I was already on this path, and to meet somebody that we're kind of at that same intersection, and we watched this. We love the same pastors, Mark Driscoll, of course, Jack Hibbs,
Yes.
Dennis Prager videos, just very similar. We'll look through YouTube to try to find pastors, and then we read the daily devotional together.
Yes.
Sometimes, I've only done it a couple times, but sometimes I'll read it and record it and send her the recording. So we're definitely on that same path. So that makes it a lot easier to have a partner on this journey. That it surely helps. I'm telling you, because I've struggled for a very long time on this path. But sometimes I'll have questions about certain things, and sure enough, Hedy has the answer for those things. You have a daughter?
I do.
13.
I have a daughter who's 13.
We're ordering sushi together. We're having a good time.
and interesting, and that was one of the things that the Lord pointed out. Two things. One was the only thing that my daughter ever asked me for if I would ever remarry was that the person have children. She didn't want, she's lonely as an only child and really wanted siblings. And the second thing that I heard from the Lord that day when he was running through the list was that, I don't know if I should tell everybody, but that your son, that Kelly, the one that has given his life to Christ, would help improve her relationship with Christ. And that he would be he'd be very instrumental in that relationship. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, who knew? We had a great, I should do another interview with Kelly soon.
Yes.
But he's pretty good on camera, and when especially comes to his walk on Christ. So very lucky that he's where he's at, and he's helping mentor the younger children. And that's awesome.
Yes. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that'll be cool. But I thought it'd be cool to come on and let you all know. I know I've been kind of hinting around a little bit, but I wanted to make sure it was the right time and that we had plenty of time to firm up our relationship, which I think happened back at when we met.
It was like your face. There was this halo. It was like glowing.
Really?
Yes.
There's nobody online that knows me that ever saw a halo over my head ever.
Right.
So that's why I chose you.
Clean slate. Clean slate. And our pastor prayed over us today.
Yes.
It was.
I've met a bunch of her friends today. Thank God. After they met me.
There's some tough critics.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were.
We both come from a background in law enforcement, and so she has many friends that are police officers. I've already met 2 or 3 of your friends that are police officers, and they're like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And like they get the light, and I go, "Shut up! I did that for years too." But we know how hard it is to get past police officers and their critical eye, and what does he sound like? What does he look like? All this kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness!
And so
he said, 1 out of 10 that you were a 10. And I mean, that was it. I was like, okay, sold, because he is the most discerning person that I know that I've ever known. So
this is the most amazing Facebook Live I've ever done. I don't know what to say. So thank you, Amy. I appreciate you so much. Amy and I watched the entire RNC together, sitting there on our phones and joking about everybody that was coming on and talking about the different stuff. So Amy, I appreciate her support in this whole process. And thank you, Bev.
I've heard that, Bev.
We've known each other since we were young, which was like 10 years ago. And Jackie, I want to make sure and get out to you. I'm finally feeling better. I can now walk up Hedy's stairs here and not have to rest at the top of the steps. It just makes me laugh that you are still here, because
Lord. But no.
Can I talk about her running? Last night we were at the at Huntington Beach. She ran like a gazelle. She was freezing. It was raining to my truck, and I thought a puma was going to come out of the wilderness and take her out because she was like floating through the thing. I, on the other hand, was walking, and I was out of breath. And get my wheelchair, Hedia. I need my wheelchair and my cane, apparently. But I had the oxygen thing in my nose this entire time. It was so crazy. But I'm feeling a lot better. So anyway, back to Jackie. Jackie, I can finally breathe. So we should make an appointment to go to the next stage with the training of your dog, because now I feel much better, and I won't have to take a nap. Although I did take a nap today. I did take 2 naps today. I still got to take a lot of naps. So we should probably do it in the morning, somewhere around 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is good, and then I could take my nap at noon. That's the one thing with COVID. There's something called long COVID that I didn't know about, that my doctor told me about afterwards and said, right now you're in the stage of long COVID, which lasts a long time, and you'll be feeling tired and going through a little bit of flu symptoms from time to time. So just understand that that's part of the process. And so thankfully she was on the phone call to know that I wasn't just making it up. So now I can go through, I got long COVID.
Yeah.
I need you to take care of me.
Forever. Long COVID. First it was COVID, now it's long COVID. Then it's cancer.
No, now we're dealing with cancer. She found a doctor for me it's been amazing. She found a doctor for me in Los Alamitos. We went and visited that doctor who has a specialty in the prostate cancer. My prostate cancer is getting worse, apparently. And so she found a doctor outside of Kaiser that has a great, what's it called again? Wofu?
HIFU.
What?
HIFU.
HIFU? It's a
non-invasive
high intensity
frequency
something.
I don't know what the U stands for.
But urology.
You all appreciate this about Andy, because he's faced with these life or death decisions and questions about his cancer treatment, and his summation of the appointment at the end is like, so can I videotape this whole experience? I was like, did you just ask him? So he just wanted permission to be able to record the entire treatment process. The doctor's like, okay.
I was going to start.
So you guys all get to come to HIFU with us.
I was going to start with the ultrasound that I got. I had to lay on my side with my pants down.
Okay.
I was going to start with that, but I didn't have my selfie stick to be able to do that, or else I would have started with that.
Mark is asking, why is everyone so happy?
Because we're together. I mean, I should be the only happy one. I'm not sure what she's happy about, but I'm extremely happy. We just ordered sushi. It's coming to the house. This is the most incredible day. Margaret argues that she may know me longer. I don't know. I think actually Bev knows me longer, because Bev knew me before I was a canine handler. So Margaret.
From what I hear, I think it's Bev.
Yeah, Margaret was a dispatcher for Cypress Police Department. We met during because Cypress and Anaheim used to train dogs together.
Oh,
but that's when we met. So it's close. I think it's about a year and a half. Bev has on Margaret, but just settling a argument. And why is everybody so happy? Because we're talking about my cancer and that I had COVID-19. This has been the best year ever. I was saying this before I met Hedia. And who knew that then now to top it all off, you're the icing on the cake. The red eye. Look at this hair. This hair is amazing. The year, and again, all of you that have been watching, Amy, of course, and others who else has been watching for a very long time, David, Priscilla. I've been talking about this has been an opportunity. Anytime you have disaster, you have heartache, you've got difficulties, you got to turn them around and make the best of them. And that really has been my mantra for many, many years. But when this happened with the shutdown and the police, the defund the police and the rioting and all that kind of stuff, I saw an opportunity to get the word out and to talk and to build a new show and do a bunch of other stuff. My kids, again, during the COVID-19, I know it was after I met Hedia, but the way my children got through the COVID-19, my 26-year-old daughter coming in and take care of the younger ones, stepping up and being there every day, making sure they went to school, making sure they got exercise. I saw their relationship grow. So even under COVID-19, being in the hospital for 6 days and nearly dying, it was fantastic. And then on top of it, I'll someday tell you what all that's about.
Some things are better left unsaid. Really.
But this has been incredible. I mean,
It
really
has.
has been an incredible walk, and it's just we have so much in common with our law enforcement background. Hers is way more extensive. She's been in Afghanistan and where else? What other these other crazy countries
Syria,
being
Lebanon,
shot at?
Malaysia, Indonesia,
You
Pakistan.
stood next to Donald Trump
Yes.
after he yelled at you, but you still stood next to him.
Yes.
And
Don Jr.
Don Jr. And then
favorite.
you've been around Obama. Sorry to hear that.
That was unfortunate.
So sad.
That was
And the Clintons.
the Clintons.
Oh,
a lot.
orale. Sad.
Yes.
So sad.
Yeah.
She worked under many presidents, and I hate to go back any farther because then it's going to make you sound like, I mean, at 39, how is it possible that you spent time with the Bushes?
Well, George Senior, I was young. I was in college. I was interning at then Senator Wilson's office.
Oh.
So it was an event that George Bush Senior came out to support Governor. At the time, he was Governor Wilson.
Okay.
Cool.
And just in case that nobody's seen our interview, when I first met you, we didn't let anybody know that we were dating. Just what did you do for the administration?
About 25 years, I've been a federal contractor doing counterterrorism, preventing radicalization. So whether I was in a think tank or I was posted in our embassies, I was basically doing research and investigation of what elements radicalize a certain population and writing reports for the government. So it was a variety of agencies, whether it was DOJ, the Department of Justice, or the military, or the FBI, Homeland Security towards the end. And then I went in for a full-time appointment as a special advisor to the FBI at headquarters.
Wow. And I don't know that I've ever dated anybody smarter than me.
Yeah, from what I hear, not really. Not much more than a federalist.
Okay. So, and then at that time you were in Islam.
Yes, I was. And how did I leave?
Yeah.
There was a defining moment where the veil tore, so to speak. I took off my head cover I just felt like I didn't want to wear it anymore, and just the religion unraveled. People told me that I would hang from my hair for an eternity in hellfire, no matter how devout I was and all the other practices that I did. And I said, how can I be in a relationship with a God that would hang me from my hair for an eternity? Because I decided to take my head cover off. And then after that, I ended up I was doing a lot of work for actually a super PAC of President Trump's. And it was a great time of my life. I really am so proud of everything that I accomplished, but I had a number of professional and personal relationships that went south. And I just was on my knees begging for God to reveal himself to me. And I heard the voice of Christ.
Why not Scientology, the Church of Latter-day Saints? Why not another religion? Why Christianity?
Christ found me. I mean, literally, I called out to God and I was on a floor and I heard his voice. So I didn't go looking for Christianity. I was listening to a couple of videos from a pastor that were really resonating with me, but it didn't occur to me at all to convert. I was like, oh, because, as a Muslim, you believe that Jesus was a prophet. And I was like, oh, Jesus is coming to help me. I didn't think anything of it.
Right.
But when I heard his voice, after begging God to reveal himself to me, I knew that was God incarnate, that Christ was the Son of God. And
was that at a Marriott in Salt Lake City, Utah?
It wasn't. It was actually in my bedroom.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, can you imagine? Maybe it was same day. I don't know.
Because that's where I was. If you haven't heard the story, I'll tell it again someday. But I'm so glad. And then you eventually met somebody, an LAPD person, officer, who led you to the church.
No, me and Jim have been friends for 15 years.
Oh.
We've been friends forever. Yeah.
So how did you end up at Calvary Chapel?
Well, because I was watching. So once I got baptized and I came back and I was watching a bunch of videos and just deciding where I wanted to go to church. And I was going to a church locally where I was living. And I felt like I had outgrown the church and I felt like the Lord was leading me to find a more Bible-based church. And I found Pastor Jack on YouTube, and Jim lives out in Chino Hills. And I said, hey, can you find somebody that knows Pastor Jack? And he's like, oh my God, are you kidding? He's like so famous. He's very difficult. And I was like, no, please, come on, let's find somebody. And he found a friend of his that lived close by, and emailed Pastor Jack and said, this is Hedia Story, and she'd really like to come and see you. And he said yes. Yeah. And it was an amazing experience. I cried because when I went to go tell my story, sorry, this is a long story, but somebody else from Salem, the general manager of Salem, told me when I was going down to Pastor Jack to ask him for spiritual covering. He's like, you're going to get attacked. What you're doing is extremely dangerous. I want you to ask Pastor Jack for spiritual covering, which I didn't even understand what it was. Mm-hmm. And so when I went to meet with Pastor Jack, I asked him, I was like, Terry said, I need to ask you for spiritual covering. And he didn't even skip a beat. He looked at me and he laughed and he said, well, of course, Terry said that. And he's like, of course I will. And I just started bawling.
And you've been driving 60 miles to church ever since.
65 miles. And at the times when I thought of stopping to go, Lord kept saying, keep going, keep going. And then all this showed up.
Hey, Larry, nice to see you. Thank you. And have a great afternoon. Thanks again. Thank you. And so then, it wasn't my home church. I was going to Yorba Linda Friends Church, and everything shut down. My church wasn't opening up. And then I found Pastor Jack online and said, well, it's not that far, but it's 15 minutes. I'm going to have to drive 15 minutes to this church. It's so far. and then it was the best. And then we met. So it is an amazing story when we actually look at everything that had to happen for us to meet, and then for us to be so connected in so many different ways is amazing. So I thought I'd finally come out of the closet and share with you my favorite person on the planet after my kids and God. I got to say that.
Absolutely.
But it's been amazing, and I love you so much. And this has been a really fun time in my life, even though most of it I've been sick. She finally gets to see me healthy.
You're on the mend.
I'm on the mend. I'm almost there. But the cool thing is the naps.
The naps.
All right, my friends.
You don't want to hear about the naps.
All right. What else we have here? David Everett says, boy, have you made the best of the time. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Jackie just filled me in. Oh, okay. Good job, Jackie. Jackie and Margaret are friends. That's how I met Jackie. Margaret introduced me.
Okay.
All right, my friends. I'm so happy. I'm glad that you stuck around to hear the story. Most of you, it was all the way up to a large number of people there. But just wanted to come out and let you guys know what was going on. And we'll actually be doing some more stuff together now that we've got this part out of the way. And we'll have more of these frames where we'll be on together talking about stuff and how we're going to move forward with the USA Patriot Project. Make sure to go there, uspatriotproject.com, as we are continuing hey, Barbara, you missed the whole show. It's my cousin, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. Adorable picture she has.
No, that's her, her granddaughter.
Oh, so cute.
Can you believe she has that's a granddaughter. That's a grandma. And you're not nearly as sneaky as you may think. Many of us knew I know. I knew that.
Why? Because you had like a starry look in your eyes?
I don't, like my son, like my 14-year-old son. The day we met, 10 minutes after we met, I saw my son looking at her, and I looked down and I go, what? He goes, what's going on with you two? Like something's happening right now. And then we went on a 3-way date. That sounds really bad, but 3-way date with Kelly. We went and had
cookie bowls, and I had frozen yogurt.
Yeah, you had frozen yogurt.
And the next day we had McDonald's in the park.
Yeah, Kelly had to sit there for an hour and a half, 2 hours while we were together. But he was enjoying it.
Yeah, we talked all together.
Yeah, and he was my wingman. Kelly was my wingman, and it was really cool. All right, my friends, congratulations. Jackie says, I did tell my cousin about you. I sent her our interview. I said, this is my new woman, my new chick. My new Islamic woman. My new woman from Islam. Should we talk about how you never thought you would be dating a Mexican? Should we talk about that?
But now you showed me of all the ethnicities.
And I have very little Mexican. I have very little Mexican in me. When I had my DNA tested,
mostly
little.
Cherokee Indian. We're gonna have to look into that.
Actually, mostly Western European.
I think.
Secondarily is.
Okay, but I think we need to get you one of those headdresses.
I could be the chief.
Yeah.
Yes. What about me? Nobody said it. I'm gorgeous. She gets look how beautiful she is. Like, is it that she looks so much more beautiful because she's sitting next to Shrek? Is that why? Oh my gosh, you guys are so mean. All right, Jackie, let's get in contact this week. Maybe Thursday or Friday, if you're around. That might be a good time to get together to do some training. Wednesday, maybe Thursday, something like that. But let's connect on on chat. All right, my friends, thank you for allowing us to do this. I feel now I feel like I just can talk freely, talk about Hetty, and now everybody's gonna know who Hetty is. And again, I know you guys some of you already knew, but we're officially out of the closet. You deserve, your heart deserves to meet its match. Yeah, the good news is, unlike many friends of mine, we didn't meet on Match.com or what are the apps that they have?
eHarmony.
Whatever the other apps are, I forget what they're called. No, we met like traditional at church.
And the Lord told me that too. The Lord said, I will do it, and you will know that I sent you. So that's why when you showed up, and I was like, wow,
can you believe that? Many of you would hate God if he sent you me. But here I am. Anyway, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I'm so lucky. All right, my friends, I love you guys for watching and paying attention and sticking around for this whole announcement. And I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys too. Thank you for supporting him.
All right, my friends, we love you, and God bless.
God bless.